Hello everyone. Apologies in advance, you might be hearing a little bit of an echo in the sound recording right now. If you kept up to date with my social media, you might already know this, but I recently moved apartments and I still need to fill this one up with beautiful stuff. So there's a little bit of an echo. In this video, it's a highlight of my reaction to the recently added scenario. On the European side of things, there was patch day today. We went through a whole lot of stuff, and over the course of this week and next one as well probably, I want to upload the stream highlights, talk about the story, talk about all the good stuff. But for tonight, to have something out, here's my reaction to the recently added cinematic, as well as talk about a little bit of the ramifications, where the story might go. Hope you enjoy, and until next time, see ya. Alrighty. Let's go, shall we? As a tide sage, I could call upon the powers of the sea to guide the ship to our destination. Say the word, and we will set sail.
Do not take this life for granted. Seaward winds, fill our sails, guide our ship through oceans true.
Oh, snap. Cutscene.
Lady Jaina, long has it been since we spoke peacefully in Theramore.
Theramore is gone. You did not ask me here to reminisce.
No,
Wow.
I have come to return one who was lost.
Derek. My own brother. I had thought better of you, Bane. So tell me, is he the Banshee's puppet? Crammed full of blight? Is he the bomb this time?
Yes.
Wow.
That was the plan. But Bane took me from Sylvanas before I was twisted to her will. I'm still your brother, Jaina. For as long as stars do shine.
Oh.
Why?
The Horde has a sickness in it. We wage war while the Earth Mother dies. We have forgotten what truly matters, and my heart can bear it no longer.
Sylvanas will kill you for this. And she may not stop with you.
No life is worth living if we cannot be true to our nature. I return home to take what solace I can in my family. I hope you take solace in yours.
Oh, with that music though.
Bane,
Stay with us.
thank you.
Oh. Well, that's also a thing. No, that was very, very cute. It's gorgeous. Unexpectedly gorgeous. I'm curious if there's going to be, like, I'm certain that there's going to be like a little aftermath with the reunion between Jaina and her brother. We know in the Alliance War campaign that she has this conversation with Enderby about what happened in Before the Storm, what happened to Kalia. So she might already be familiar with the whole undead loved one, right? And to see her go so raw into that emotion of Theramore, like, is this your plan this time, Bane? Is this going to be the bomb that's going to destroy us from within? And then her brother speaks up and instantly she's like, oh snap, this is actually... You're taking a much larger stance than you ever did when it came to Garrus Hellscream. I saw somebody mention that Bane was okay with the war when Saurfang led it. Yeah. But can you really blame him? There are hostilities between the factions, and the problem is not so much that the Horde and Alliance are at war. The problem is the way that the warfare is done, and there are certain things that they do not agree with when it comes to the Banshee Queen, like killing and resurrecting your own troops, like brainwashing the corpse of a loved one and send it in to kill them from within. There are just certain lines that members amongst the Horde cannot cross because of their honor. And what we see with Saurfang, he was right there at the burning of Teldrassil. Something that Bane did not witness himself. He might have heard reports and whatnot, but he was not there, physically there, to experience it, right? So for Saurfang, it was much more raw, but he still stayed behind for the children of the Horde with Zappy Boy. And then he saw again what Sylvanas was planning, how ruthless, how no limits her attitude is. And that he cannot stand by and watch that happen. Whereas Bane had like the same feeling behind that, but for his people. Like in that very moment with the Alliance army... I'm too... Notifications, my god. Right, there we go. In that very moment, with the Alliance army at Lordaeron, he could not step away from his people, right? But now what he saw with Sylvanas resurrecting the brother of Jaina in an attempt to use him as a weapon to murder the Alliance from within, that was his line. And let's not forget that someone like Bane was not down with what Garrosh did. He, as he looked at Faramir as it was destroyed, was crying. There were tears over his face, and he could not understand that the Horde was cheering for this. How could they be cheering for Garrosh and his tactics? Because again, when it comes to the bombing of Faramir, I don't think the problem is that the Horde went to war. I think a lot of people can agree that Faramir was a tactical sound decision. It's the way that the warfare is done, and we see that mirrored in this storyline again. But that's my take on all of this. I cannot wait to see the aftermath on the Alliance side. And when it comes to the whole traitor thing, again, I do agree with the idea that someone like Bane, that someone like Saurfang is a traitor. We saw that paralleled with General Nuskrim, who was so loyal to the war chief that he did not step away from him ever. It cost him his life as he stuck with Garrosh. But in his mind, he could not abandon his war chief, whereas these guys are like, the Horde is more than its war chief. And the Horde has different ideals than just what the war chief has. And therefore they make a stand. And it's up to all of us to decide, like, are we down with what Sylvanas is doing? And from this cinematic, one line that I really appreciated is Bane talking about a life is not worth living if it's done in the wrong way. That is something that I would love to see Sylvanas learn as well, before the end. That certain things are worth dying for. Like her whole shtick right now is to stay alive, is to stay out of hell. But what if she realizes that for certain things in this world, could be the Horde, could be Nathanos, could be your sisters, whatever, that there is more than her selfish desires. But that is a personal hope. For all we know, it could be another Mr. Pandaria and we step up and Alliance and Horde unite to take Sylvanas out of the mantle of War Chief. But I'm still hoping for more. But we're gonna find out. Did I notice Bane confirmed that Azeroth is the Earth Mother in that too? Oh, I didn't actually pick up on that. Huh. Very cool. Do you think that Sylvanas knows about this? Just a moment, Church. And making a stand is fine, but don't make them help the Alliance or go and ask the Alliance for help. But to whom do you turn? Where do you go? Like when you see the War Chief go down a path, there isn't... Like I'm trying to figure out, like, where do you go? Like the Ebon Blade? Maybe, but that's another problem. Like, where did the Order Halls go? Why not challenge her? Like, that's the issue. Challenge her to Mak'gora. Challenge her to Mak'gora. I'm trying to think of reasons why Bane wouldn't do that. Maybe because he sees, like, the history of his father and what kind of a devastating effect it had when his father stepped up and challenged the War Chief to Mak'gora. There could be that. There could also be the part of Sylvanas plays with what she kills. It's kind of like dealing with the Lich King. Death is not a certainty, so there could be that as well. And then, of course, there's also the aspect of we need both factions to be involved in the storyline. And if the Horde just deals with its own shit and the Alliance is like observing all of that, then there's also that, of course. Just refuse and shoot him, right? Makura is pretty much an orc thing. It worked with Garrosh because he cared about honor and orc traditions. And yet, we also see, although it was more like of a distraction kind of deal, Sourfang challenging Malfurion to Makura. That's definitely a point as well. But then you could still make a stand, and that goes down to why didn't they make a stand against Garrosh earlier? And especially when it comes to this storyline, why are they still so afraid to stand up for the Horde when they see it go down a darker path, right? With Garrosh, we knew that it had to do with, they were afraid for their people, you didn't really know who you could trust, and there was a whole big storyline developed around that. But you would imagine that this time around, they kind of know what the rest of the Horde wants. But then, okay, you challenge the Forsaken, one of the mightiest forces that the Horde has to offer. It's pretty much offering the Horde on a plate to the Alliance, ain't it? So in that case, it would be wiser to work together with the Alliance to open up those lines of communication again that were shut down by Sylvanas. So it's technically sound to be working together with the Alliance if your goal is to save the Horde and you have the vision of we can keep going, we can go towards a peace with the Alliance rather than if we work together with the Alliance we're gonna be wiped out, right? So there's that part even. And that's another kind of interesting detail which was from the whatchamacallit? Collector's Edition, in which Sylvanas talked about, okay, we might be able to broker peace with the Boy King. This would last for 5, 10, 50 years, but eventually these bonds are going to break. To which she was able to convince Sourfang that if we use the opportunity and we wipe out the enemy, we secure peace for generations, for always. But if bonds are truly broken by time, then those same bonds will be broken within the Horde as well by time, right? And I kind of feel that has to do with her second plan that she hints at, but not really confirms, which would just be bring everybody in on death and everybody under her control. But that's personal interpretation. That's never really been confirmed.